Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today I am making a soap using this fragrance from Wholesale Supplies Plus. It's called Lavender Woods and Honey. And it smells really nice. I definitely pick up the lavender in this. I don't know if I'm picking up the honey. It just sort of has a sweet kick in the background and it definitely has some woodsy notes to it. It's very, very nice. I've not used this before. It says on the reviews that it does not cause discoloration or acceleration. We shall see. So for the colors, let me go first. The honey. To represent that, I have this honey powder that I got. And I'm just going to use the honey powder instead of my liquid honey in this, and we will see how that plays out. For my color swirls, I want to do for the lavender, I have this matte lavender ultramarine, which is so pretty, and it's just a true lavender. And then I want to do a little teeny swirl. I got this sample from Workshop Heritage, which is where my triple molds come from that I use in almost all my videos. It's a triple tall skinny mold from Workshop Heritage that that's my go-to mold. And then the log splitter that I use is also from Workshop Heritage. I get asked that a lot and I forget to mention it. So that's where it's from. And when I order from them, they send me little samples. I've also got colorants from them, but this little sample of dark yellow, it's just a teeny sample, so I thought this would be perfect if I'm going to do a little swirl inside, and I might do some piping on top. I love to pipe when I have lavender and flower scents to kind of represent that. So if this is behaving, and I can do piping, for the stems and leaves on my piping, I ordered from Workshop Heritage, it's called Jungle Green. And I just think that is a fabulous color. I haven't used this yet and I want to see, so I thought stems and leaves would be a great place to test it and see what the color comes out. Greens can be tricky. They can morph. Usually they bounce back, but so anyway, I'm hoping I get a chance to use this if everything's behaving. This is going to be an aloe vera soap today, and I think I got it all covered. Let me get everything pulled together and get my hair pulled back, and let's come back and make some lavender woods and honey soap. And if you've been enjoying the videos, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe and the bell for notifications. So I've got all of my oils prepped in here and ready to go, and I'm going to add my dry additives, which is my kaolin clay, 2 tablespoons of kaolin clay. And these scoops came with these containers, and I got these from Dollar General. Very inexpensive. They were like $3.50 or something for the container. This is colloidal oats, 2 tablespoons, and it came with these handy scoops. So if you buy your additives in bulk, these are wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and add my honey powder to everything. I think I'm just going to do a nice heaping teaspoon of honey powder in here and see how that plays out. And again, the honey is very obviously sugar. So I'm going to watch this and make sure I don't have overheating. After I get it in the mold and get it covered, I will come back and check on it periodically and make sure it's not cracking on the top or getting too hot. Let me get these all blended in. All right, I'm prepping my piping bags to do the tops here. So I figured I'd show you how I do that. So these are a little bit heavier duty or heavy gauge piping bag because I bought the really, really cheap, inexpensive ones from Amazon that were sort of hard, and I broke a few of those. When my batter gets really thick and I squeezed hard and they pop out on the side. These have been really sturdy. I'll try and find a link and leave below. So I have my different piping tips. I have a little leaf tip that I'm going to use on my lavenders and a little star tip for my honey dollops. And so what I do is I just get the tip down in here. I do have couplers that I use sometimes, but when I have several bags, I just go straight into the bag with them. And I kind of push it down there so I can gauge about how much to snip off, and I just snip the end off and squeeze up and see if it fits, and the bag is just below the teeth on here, so it'll be just fine. So what I do is I pinch it nice and hard so it's really on there secure, and then I twist it a good couple of times here so that if I poured the batter in there and it was still a little liquidy, it wouldn't leak out. Then I just tuck my hand down and grab it there, put it in my cup and open it up. And there, my little tip is down in there and it's sealed off, so if I poured my batter in here, it wouldn't seep out all over. And that is how I prep my bags and just set them off to the side and That way if everything's behaving and I can go ahead with piping, they're all ready to go. And you know, if things go sideways and you can't pipe, then, you know, just put them away and swoop the top and save it for another time. But I like to, you know, when I want to have piping, I have them ready to go. And I've only had a couple of times where it's just gone so wonky that I wasn't able to do the piping, but it does happen sometimes. So all that being said, here are my piping bags. I'm just going to set these off to the side and get everything ready to go, and we'll come back and start making soap. Okay, we're ready to roll. So all the additives are blended and kind of sat in there for a while, and they're all absorbed in. And here is our aloe vera lye solution, which has cane sugar, tussa silk, sodium lactate, I think that's all, and aloe vera, obviously. So there is that. I use aloe vera juice, not aloe vera gel. It would be a different volume, I think, if you use the gel, because the gel is so viscous and thick. So when and it's wonderful in soap, but when I use it as the liquid portion, I like the aloe vera gel because it's more watery consistency. So I'm just going for emulsion here, and then we'll split off for our colors and get the fragrance in here. Whoop. I just lost half my thing. Hang on. All right, and this is why, another reason why gloves are good. Yikes, and away. All right, let's see if it'll run now. Of course it had to do that after I get the lye in there, right? All right. Let's see if we can proceed forward. All right, clean up my mess. I don't like a messy work surface. Now, we can just go for emulsion, take two, and get this split off to our colors. And fragrance. The reviews on this fragrance, it had really good reviews. People loved the cured out scent retention and that it behaved well. So I haven't used this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So here are my colors that I just have dispersed in a little distilled water to make blending easier. So I got my soap in the piping bags, and I'll show you how I get them ready to go here. So it's thick enough where it's not dripping out, but it's still a little too runny to pipe. So I pull them out of the cups at that point and get them down on the table and get them ready to go. And that way, I just kind of come along and give them a poke test. And then I have a paper towel and I'll squeeze. So I'd say about 5 more minutes we'll be ready to get piping. right, it's the next day and I can't wait to get into this lavender woods and honey. This fragrance behaved really well and I just kind of went random on the top. I was gonna do them all lined up and I'm like, yeah, you know, and I just kind of went random and I'm loving it. I hope each bar has enough of the piped flowers and lavender to come through. So we'll get this out of the mold. Yeah, the fragrance behaved really well. This did have the honey powder in it, so it did get very hot in the mold, and I just kept an eye on it to make sure that it didn't overheat. It was covered with a blanket, so it went through gel phase. So that is how I like to do it. Let's get into these lavender woods and honey. And I am not a lavender fan, I've said that before, but this is a good lavender for me. I think it's the woodsy and the sweet in there. Oh, these are beautiful. So I think this lavender is fantastic, and this is coming from a non-lavender fan. And it soaped really well, even with the honey in there, and the sugars and all that. I had plenty of time to do an intricate swirl, and I ended up waiting probably about a half hour for the soap to firm up enough to pipe. So I think that this fragrance performed beautifully. I would recommend it. Smells great today. The reviews say it has good retention, so the only way I'll know that is in 6 weeks when it's done curing. But I'm very happy with these. And so even with the honey powder in there, I did put the wooden lid on my mold. and a blanket over the top of everything, so it did go through gel phase, and I just checked it to make sure it wasn't overheating, and I didn't have any overheating issues, so I am pretty tickled with these. Oh, and you know I love it when this happens. Soap patterns. I love it. Kind of looks like an angry Pekingese or a lizard. I don't know. What do you see? All right, here's another soap pattern. I'll do more at the end of the video, but they're just so pretty. And let me tell you, that jungle green from Workshop Heritage, I'm loving that color. Really pretty.